So, luckily for me as the DM, this story also begins in Sunflower Grove. Weirdly enough, it is within Sunflower Grove that we found the actual, well, I would say home of Ty, the Sunshine Family Help Center. Is just nestled within this city quarter, the side of the city, and it's like a foster home for all the, you know, orphan childs of Ravenwood that crave for a chance in our society to grow up and be respectful members, respectful citizens of the Atzael country. Um, it is in the Sunshine Family Help Center where Ty has a little room that calls it home. And Ty, I would like you to imagine the next scene with me. I want you to imagine a kitchen. There is somebody doing, cooking around, doing stuff. And I want you to imagine like children coming in and out, jumping everywhere. We can hear old lady Sunshine being like, now, boys, please be careful, don't step in that. Then a kid just hits his head against the countertop, and it's just chaos all around in this beautiful foster home. As the sun begins to rise up from the far east, um, we see somebody uh, knocking on the door. Uh, we hear like two loud knock knocks um, happening, and then the door is open, and we get like the camera zooms over at the door, and we see Oswald Blueheart at the other side. For reference, this is how Oswald looks like. So we see this kind of like young nurse type fellow. He doesn't look like rugged at the time. He's not working. He's there wearing like civilian clothes, right? And he's in the front of the door. And he goes like, "Hey, I came up to pick a tie. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I believe she's upstairs preparing herself. I know she's quite excited to go to Stormcast Adventure Academy. Yeah, I mean sure. I mean, uh, can I come in? Yes, please. Don't mind the chaos all around, and we can see like one children throwing a toy at another one, and almost with like ballistic precision hitting on the head. The other child falls down to the floor, and like, oh god damn it, Damien! And old lady Sunshine goes to attend to the felon kid. Ty, will you be so kind to just like describe us your room, not your character, only your room.
Sure. So when you walk in, I think she would pick a room that, if possible, would have a view of at least the sky, if not a little bit more of maybe the street below, not facing another building, so she could have some natural sunlight coming in. She hasn't been here very long, and she didn't come with many possessions of her own, but she's accumulated a couple of things. Some of the drawings from the kids that live there, and a couple of plants that she transplanted from Old Lady Sunshine's garden, perched in the windowsill. She would just have a very simple blanket. Her closet would be sparse, but she would have her gear that she brought with her when she entered the city that doesn't really match the attire of a normal citizen, and so she's kind of kept it hung in the back. And she's been lent clothes, so they're kind of worn and hand-me-downs, but they fit her. And it's just a very simple room. The plants that are perched, maybe a couple of books that are about the a brief history of the city that she has found herself in. And yeah, not too much else. She's just very simple with her possessions.
Nice. And I want you all to imagine like the side view of the stairways as Oswald begins to like going up. and he eventually finds your room. He's a guy that's been looking after you. He has come many, many times into the help center, and he knocks on the door, and he says, "Ty, are you ready?" And there is no response from the other door. We shift the scene, and we begin to see the door from inside of your room, right? Zooming back. And as it does so, we begin to see your description of your room. And we hear also one, "Ty, are you awake? School begins in about 2 hours. I came to take you in early." And the camera zooms even further, and we see an empty room. We see Ty's empty room, and we go through the window, and we see what appears to be like a makeshift rope coming out of the window into the back alley of the help center. And at that moment, we cut to the Ingerfell grounds. We found ourselves in the deep woods of Ingerfell, and I want you to imagine like the low angle camera shot of what appears to be like a little frog just trampling about. And as we begin to zoom into the frog, we see two what appears to be like cow ears just like going up, in response to the frog, and we begin seeing your head begin to like peek over the this scene. How would you describe your character in this situation?
In this situation, the frog with the cute little cow ears is probably jumping in and out of the water along the water's edge, um, just sort of sitting still, catching a couple flies if possible, a couple of insects. You'd see an odd sort of stripe of green, even though some toads and frogs are green, but you'd see a green that sticks out a little bit more, maybe, than would be on a normal one, to accompany the strange ears that you normally do not see on a frog.
You pick up the frog. Give me an animal. What is it called?
Animal
Um,
handling.
exactly, animal handling, please.
9. It was it
we
was almost it was almost a 19, but it was cocked. Was
we
very sad.
see that you're like are about to like pick up the frog, and the frog gets spooked as you begin like to rise like a titan, with your like enormous stature. And the frog like leaps over like this little bridge, falls into the river, and you hear a voice behind you saying, "Did you got it yet?"
No, I think I scared it. I'm sorry.
And as you say that, we begin to see that there is another girl from the help center behind you, almost your age. I would say that she's about like 2 years younger than you. Her name is Paula, right? Her name is Paula West, and she's this very young with freckles, um, almost like white girl. She is half elf, right? And she's like the closest thing to a friend you have in the help center. She is like very easy to manipulate, and so whenever you want to like go on an adventure, you always seek to like hang out with Paula just to be like so alone and like, not to get lost in Ravenwood. And so Paula goes like, I don't know why you're so interested in a frog. Like, what would this? Why would we stop just to look at a frog? What happened?
Well, it was interesting looking, and I don't know. I'm used to animals always being comfortable around me. I don't know. It's weird being in a new place and still not knowing all the wildlife as well as I'm used to.
And you and Paula begin like to walk. And can you describe me how will like Ty walk through the park? What will be like the things that she gets like really interested in?
So I think as Ty walks, she'll have her hair kind of pulled back, but still kind of wavy down her back. She's got this thick, long, almost mane of brown hair that she kind of keeps twisted and braided out of her eyes. She's got, she's big. She's tall, big, wide shoulders, kind of bigger arms and legs, and just you can tell that she's very fit, but the way that she walks almost has this smoothness to it. And whereas in the city, you'll see her shoulders kind of tense almost at all times. Out here in nature, she is a little more relaxed, and you can see a looseness more to her walk. And while she's relaxed, you can still tell that she's always on alert. And if any animals or make the bushes rustle or something flutters in the tree leaves, just very subtly her eyes will flick in any direction of the noises that she hears. But you can tell she's very comfortable in nature.
Roll me an insight check.
Gosh dang. Oh, natural 20. For
Nice.
25.
For a moment, through your side view, through a corner of your eye, you see Paula about to almost like jump on you. And for a moment, it crosses your mind about like, oh shoot, is this almost like a predator, being all chill and then just suddenly burst into action. But then you remember you're no longer in a swamp. You're in Ravenwood, and this is Paula. It's kind of like a friend to you, and you see that she's jumping to grab you like by the arm, and like almost in a hug walk with you through the park. What would be your reaction? What would you do?
She'll have that flicker of instinct that have been trained into her for the past 20 years to react to any quick emotions, but as you said, very quickly recognizes where she is, and in a very like smooth motion as Paula kind of tries to jump on her arm, she'll kind of just let her, but kind of scoop her up and throw her on her back in the same motion.
And so we have this beautiful like moment of motion and recognition, and Paula seems to like enjoy it, right? As you put her on the ground, you look down, like very, very down. She's not a very tall girl, and you see her going like, so you're going to that new school today?
Yeah, I guess Oswald was able to pull some strings like he said, and today's the day.
Hey, can I ask you a weird question?
Sure.
When you are, enrolled in Stormcast Adventure Academy, and would you like got like new friends, will us two still hang out, or how will that work?
You'll hear kind of Tice just start laughing before she even finishes the sentence, and she goes, Paula, you know me. Once I make friends with somebody, we'll stay friends. Yeah, I'm gonna be learning a lot of new things and meeting new people, but you were one of the first ones who was kind to me here. You and, Lady Sunshine. So, don't you worry. I'll still be home in the evenings, and you'll still be my closest friend.
Pinky promise?
Pinky promise.
Roll me a perception check.
Gosh, is she about to turn into a changeling or something? What did you say? Perception?
Perception check. Yeah.
18.
Nice. So, by the way, Cry, just so you know, she was actually practicing rolling outside of the game. She wants to like live roll on her stream, so we're practicing.
I seen that.
Okay,
Pretty
perfect.
quick at it,
I thought
huh?
it was pretty cool.
All right. So, Ty, as you're doing this like pinky promise, with Paula, you catch wind of something weird happening at this time of the morning.
Oh Lord
You
Almighty.
get a sense of something feral happening. You look around at the woods, and you see that you are on a like less tracked part of like the Ingerford Park. Ingerford Park is this huge, enormous place filled with life. It has a zoo. It has people coming by all the times, and you find yourself in like the deep heart of the forest, and it has been almost unkept. You see all manner of life walking about. You see squirrels, you see raccoons, you see dogs, people, every now and then walking by through the same like pathway that you took with Paula. And but you catch wind of something strange. Would you roll me a nature check? Difficulty of 16.
Okay. Ooh, 18.
Um, you catch wind of what appears to be a blue scaled creature walking by, and you see it like it is like gathering stuff like from place to place and put it on like its backpack, right? And you get a sense that there's something like weird going on with him. Um, he seems amiable. He seems like really, really nice. And then you realize, even though you're not from this world, you will probably have heard about the race. You see a blue kobold
I
doing
wondered.
like his own thing in
I
the park.
wondered.
And it is not uncommon to see kobolds in the city. As many people in Ravenwood know, kobolds like to come to Ravenwood and do like odd jobs, to like pay stuff to like the Dragon Lord Glaciax. Um, and for the most of it, they are gardeners of the more like wealthy families of Ravenwood. And it's strange to see one here, right? Roll me another perception check.
13.
Nice. Let me change the music. You know when an animal becomes alert. You know that tension in the muscles. That quick shifting of like the ears as almost like scanners pointing in at the direction of wherever this danger is coming from. You see this kobold going full perception mode. He just caught wind of something really, really strange. You look around and you see at like the edge of the park what appears to be a van, like an actual drivable van moving through the park, kind of like an odd way. Roll me another perception check.
Uh, 12.
You see that inside the van there are two creatures that are like actively driving it, and they are almost like outside of the park, through a fence. Um, but you catch wind of something really, really weird. For a moment, you could almost believe that somebody was on the back, sorry, the on the back of the van, and you could almost believe that somebody like approached that other creature with a hand, put something on his mouth, and that creature became unconscious. Roll me an insight check.
Inside. 13.
Um, you get the sense that creature that put his hand on the other person, it is like a snake, like a constrictor snake. The one that surrounds his prey and begins like suffocating it for a later snack, let's say.
Definitely, Ty is definitely acquainted with snakes.
And you feel your own muscles begin to tension. You feel yourself going into that attitude of, oh shit, I just saw a predator in my environment. What will you do?
Do I have my staff on me at all?
Yes, you do.
Okay. What is the blue cobalt doing? Does
The
they have
blue,
they have they noticed as well?
the blue kobold noticed it, and you saw him. Roll me a quick insight check.
Ooh, 23.
Oh, nice. So you saw like the kobold appearing to be like casting like spell, and then begin like sprinting. Not
Okay.
like following the van, but almost taking like a side path, like almost circumventing it to approach him from like a different directions. You know how kobolds are, you know? They have like that type of mentality of first is me, then is the other guy. And so it definitely worked more on his curiosity rather than on his sense of heroism and I gotta save somebody.
Okay, well, since I'm still kind of, new to the city and learning what's normal and what's not, sort of taking my cues from this kobold who also seems to be not okay with what's going on, I will just grip my staff tighter and kind of I'm going to tell Paola to stay where she is, and picking up my pace, I'm going to try to get to the van and I'm going to shout loudly, "Hey, what are you doing, that person?"
Roll me first a quick athletic check.
Oh, uh, 7.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Even with a +4, 7.
Oh, so you're like a
I
what?
rolled a 3.
All right. So, it takes you a couple of time to like begin to actually, um, bring yourself to speed. Um, but as you begin to run, you hear Paula going like, "Hey, what happened?" You're like shouting way in the back. What happened? Can I do something?
Um, I sort of remember like my run-in with the police when I first got here, and knowing that if something kerfuffly happens, that they somehow show up. So I'm gonna kind of yell back to her, "Go get those people in the matching uniforms," as I run towards this snake man.
Let me roll a quick
Yes.
inside check. You see a face of recognition. She goes like, "Okay," and she begins sprinting in the other direction. Um, as you begin running and getting like speed towards the van, you're running against a van, right? Let's
Oh, okay.
start
So
from
they're already in the van. I thought they were
there.
still like on the.
Oh no,
Oh,
they are already in the van. They are running like they're driving kind of like outside of the park, and you can clearly see the path where like you can like run parallel to the van, jump a fence, and pursue it if that's what you want to do, right?
good. How far away from it is me? How many feet?
Let me roll something real quick. Um, so
Really dumb.
at the moment where you begin like seeing it, right?
Yeah.
They were about like 30 feet away from you, right? As you
Okay.
begin to sprint, they begin to like, grab speed. And I will say that they are now, on a parallel level, about 50 to 60 feet away from you and gaining ground.
Okay. So seeing that they have somewhat gotten away from me, can I cast Entangle in like the 20-foot section of road that they seem to be driving towards? Um,
Oh,
it says the
uh-huh.
creature in the area has to succeed on a, I don't know what the strength save of a van would be.
Uh-huh.
Um, but they have to succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the
Right.
entangling
Yeah,
plants.
it's your strength saving throw.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
Yeah, but I don't know what like a bonus. Like what would they get like a +12 because it's a
oh,
van?
yeah.
Like
So,
I have no
um,
clue.
tell you what, I guess you're not going like at the against the entire full of like the strength of the van, velocity plus speed, whatever.
because they're
We're
like
not doing
you
much.
said they're just starting. Like they're not like going 60 miles an hour, right? Like they've just started to kind of put the gas on.
No, exactly. They just started putting gas on. They come from like Sunflower Grove, and they just hit like the sidewalk of the park and begin like tossing it, hitting the gas. They gaining speed, and I would say you 100% can try and go for the tires, right? At least like to the back tires, the ones that don't have like actual speed, that just like pull
Well,
them off.
yeah, yeah. It's a 20-foot like cube. So like it's not like it's gonna just try to envelop the whole dang thing.
Exactly, exactly. So let me roll first a d20. Um, and this is will be like really really funny because I actually roll another one.
This is while
Oh,
I'm running.
you.
I'm gonna just make this. I'm running, and you'll kind of see me sort of like just kind of like wiggle my staff a little bit while I'm like running, and this is gonna happen. So I'm not like standing still.
Yeah, and we can imagine like the action scene. You begin to gain ground. You shout back to to Paula to go for police, you quickly cast Entangle on the ground, and we see the vines coming over, destroying the asphalt, grabbing the two back tires of the van, and stocking it in place as you begin to like run towards it.
Nice.
Yes. You're not gonna. What did they roll?
They roll another one.
Yes. It was a DC 13.
Yeah, they're rolling another one. So it is currently, stuck on the ground. They of course are hitting in the pedal, and if we try to mine inside the van, they're like, "What the
Cartoon
fuck?"
style. They're just like the front tires just burning rubber while the back are like being held by these like really thick sort of like vines just cracking up through the concrete and just wrapping themselves on the back axle.
Exactly, and white smoke begins like coming out as you begin to take your next action. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I saw the snake person pull the civilian into the back of the van.
Yes.
Okay, first is it locked? I'm just gonna try to rip the door open, like pull the door open.
Right. So, first of all, there is a fence between you and the van.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. So you're right, you're right.
roll me a quick
How,
acrobatic check.
yeah, how tall is the fence?
I would say that since it is a park fence and there's animals going around, I would say that it's about like 5 meters tall. How will my video feet?
Okay. Can I do athletics instead? Does it
Uh,
have to be acrobatics?
I mean, acrobatics would be like jumping over the fence. Doing athletics will be like climbing, right? So yeah, go ahead, roll me an athletic check,
Well,
and,
it's
and
it's an 11 for acrobatics or a 15 for athletic. That's why I was asking.
oh yeah, sure. So
Because
I
I'm
said
not
that.
dexterous. She just what?
All right. So let me tell you what. Just for comedic effect, I'll let you have the scene. How would your character go through, over, or jump over a fence? How would your character do it?
Well, she knows that she can't jump that high. She's a
Uh,
little hefty, so she's just going to basically just muscle her way up. She knows that she's tall, she knows that she has a strong reach, so rather than try to like jump or flip over it, she's just gonna reach her arms up as high as she can with each pull and just like basically scale the thing in half the time that it would take somebody else just because her wingspan is so big.
all right. And you go through the fence, and you go towards the van. Um, as you do another athletic check to, like rip it open, let me throw another saving throw on the tires. Um, so go ahead, give me athletics.
That is a 10.
At 10, okay. Um, you work with it like a little bit. There is like the actual sound of you pushing, trying to get the back door of the van open, as you hear somebody stepping inside of the back part of the van. And as you rip it open, the vines begin to lose grip, and you suddenly break it open, and you see inside this pale, huge, tall figure inside of the van, wearing all black. And roll me a nature check.
Surprisingly, Ty does not have good nature because she is not used to this plane.
All right, no, that
But she
uh-huh.
got an 18.
Nice.
She's just
Damn.
blood pumping right now. So
You will be the first one to know what we are going against um on the first arc of our campaign. Are you
Ooh,
ready?
yes.
So I'll ask you something, Ty. How will your character know about vampire spawn?
You say vampire spawn?
Mm-hmm.
Um. Okay. Well, where Ty is from, there are definitely all manner of strange creatures that people from this plane would even find surprising. And the druids that taught her about the natural order and natural, like, progression of life have warned her about some of the lesser, less, what's the word I'm looking for? The more unseemly characters that look to throw that kind of natural balance out of order.
Mhm. Mhm. And as you open that back door of the van, you see pale figure, pointy ears, red eyes. You see him struggling to throw another body into the back of the van, and you see the pearly white, um, pointy teeth of a vampire inside of his mouth. He looks side with you, and you look down. Roll me another perception check.
Sorry, quick clarification. Is this a different person than like the snake figure that I saw pulling the civilian inside the van?
You look at him, and he appears to have what appears to be like a dragon tattoo on his arm. So I believe that's the thing that you got about the serpent.
Okay,
So
got it.
he's
Sorry,
definitely
I
the
must have
guy.
misheard. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's who I saw. Got it, got it, got it. What am I rolling?
You're running on a perception check.
Perception is a 14.
You see, inside of that same van, there is what appears to be an elf girl, dressed in like what appears to be like very old fashioned clothes, portraying to a mage. And you see a very well dressed male human, um, both extremely unconscious. They are almost like straw dolls. They begin to like move over with like the movement of the van, and you see that this guy grabs the girl, throws it in the further back as he grabs the van door, about to close it. You have a split second to do something. What would you like to do?
Um, I have lost track of the kobold, but knowing what I know about vampires and seeing two people unconscious, I'm just gonna like shoulder check my way into the van, the back of the van.
100%. For this, it will be 100% acrobatic check time. So,
Okay.
do your best. Let's see what you can do.
I'm gonna use this one. I didn't use this one at all yesterday. Okay, 12.
I would say, let me actually roll something real quick, just for the speed of the van, just to see how quickly it gains speed.
Oh, so it broke out of my entangle?
It broke out of your
Okay.
entangle, yes. It broke out of your entangle, and you managed to get a foot inside of the van, and you are almost for a moment, um, you know, being pulled away from the van, as you're carrying your way through the handle and your foot inside of the van. I will say that will be like your movement.
Okay.
You will still have like your action and bonus action left.
Okay. I'm going to can I'm going to be holding my staff and I'm not gonna attack him just yet. Can I hold my action but use my bonus action to just say, this doesn't look good for you. What are you gonna do with these people? And I'm just gonna hold my action to, if he attacks me, attack him. But I don't want to initiate yet.
Okay. So this creature locks eye with you. Um, from a naturalistic point of view, um, this is 100% a predator, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the type of creature that likes to toy with his food. And he grabs the little girl by the face with just one arm, and you see this immense strength, uncommon from like a slender type, kind of like body type.
Oh dear.
He grabs it. You see long nails pushing, piercing almost a little bit through skin. You begin to see very few like blood vessels begin to tie into the neck, and say, "Listen, girl, you don't know what you're getting into. Now, let me give you a piece of advice. Get down from the pen, forget what you saw, or join them in death."
Well, I certainly know that when I find someone of your kind, there's rarely something good going on. and I don't like the way that you're holding these people, so I'm not gonna do that. And I'm just gonna, if I can use my action from before, I'm just
Mhm.
gonna try to whack his arm that's holding the elf girl with my staff.
Roll me an attack.
All right. I'm gonna make this one like a two hand. I'm just trying to, there's not a lot
Okay.
of space, so I'm just gonna whack with both my hands on the staff.
You may
Bow
do
tie. I
go
believe.
attack.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Oh, okay. That is a 17 to hit.
That hits. Roll
Okay.
me a damage.
Okay, because I'm two-handing, it's gonna be a D8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the d6.
Okay, that's a 3 plus 2, 5.
You hit his body.
And I want to just preface, more of this is like, it's less about the damage and more of just trying to get him to let go of her. But hurt him.
Yeah. You know what? Roll me an athletic check.
Okay. The damage is secondary mostly. It's just to try to
Mhm.
catch him off guard and knock the girl out of his hand.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Ooh, that's a 10.
You see him receiving the brunt force of your staff, and for a moment you feel like it is almost about to break, but it doesn't. He holds firm the girl with his arm, and then you see him moving his tongue through his teeth, and he says, "Children, I love the medium rare."
Ew.
Roll me
Bleh.
a wisdom saving throw.
Oh dear. Okay. I get +5 on wisdom. Okay. Ooh, 12.
Oh no.
Right.
As this creature says that, you see that through his arm and his tattoo, red blood begins to flow. You see what appears to be a trail that begins to form through the air, made out of blood, coming through his arm, and it begins to move almost like tentacles approaching you. And you see one of them going from the back door of the van, pushing it over, and the rest of them begin to entangle your body. And you begin to see as if you were paralyzed completely. Your whole body begins to feel tense. You try to feel your muscles. You can't. You try to breathe consciously. You can't. You can only breathe unconsciously. And you find yourself stuck in place. And the whole van begins to come dark again. There is not a ray of sun coming through. And in the darkness, you cannot see further away than like 10 centimeters in front of you. And you begin to feel something cold approaching your face. And in that moment of tension, you're still conscious, right? You can still feel stuff through your mind. What's happening inside of your head?
I think she's starting to realize that she's not in Kansas anymore, and where she would usually have a lot more confidence and know that she'd almost always have the upper hand in an environment that she's used to. She's realizing that acting in the way that she's normally used to in a new city, in a new place with new enemies, might have been a little hasty.
And while you think of that, you smell something extremely sweet filling the air. Weirdly enough, and then we can see through your eyes as if we were like seeing a movie, and something cold pushes against your nostrils. And as you begin to inhale something through a piece of cloth, your eyes begin to feel
Can
this.
hang on before? So I'm caught, and I'm thinking these things. Is the van door open? You said.
The van was closed through the
Did
same
he
spell.
open it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he opened it with his.
No.
He shut it.
Mm-hmm. He shut it down. Everything became darkness, and in the darkness, what happened is what I'm describing to you.
Yeah, I'm just debating if I wanted to. Can I? Oh, shoot. Are the windows open in this van?
There
Did
are
I-
no windows in this van.
Shoot. Is there okay, question. Is it like one of those vans where like there's a partition between the back and the front, or it's just like you can just go straight up to the front where the drivers are?
There is definitely a partition.
I don't know if this would be smart or not. I'm trying to think of if I want to use wild shape and shrink out of the things holding me, like go into something small to get
Mhm.
away, but I'm stuck in a box with no way out. I don't.
Um,
It's fine.
let's actually
I think it's too
uh,
late.
for cinematic value, let's do it. What
Okay,
will you
okay.
try to shape into?
Was my polymorph thing working? Because I've got no freaking idea what I can do.
It isn't working, but just
Okay,
for
okay.
flavor, tell me any animal.
Um, okay. I'm gonna use wild shape, and while normally someone would be struggling and very afraid in this situation, which she is to an extent, but she calls on the trainings that the druids gave her, and she kind of centers herself, and she almost seems to hold her breath for a moment, and then her eyes will open and they'll flash this like really just like solid black color, and she's gonna just in like one breath kind of turn into a jumping spider.
Um, we see like little dots of what appears to be like black hairs coming out of your head. We even see like some eyes popping up through
Like
to
a
your
forehead and
forehead.
cheeks.
Exactly. As you begin to shrink in size, you hear laughter. It's like and as you begin to shrink in size, um, you become into a tiny little spider, and you feel that moment of I might get out of this.
Is there okay, as I kind of land and fall on the ground, do I see like is this I ripped the door open, right?
Mhm.
So are there any like jagged bits along the edges of the back of the van door at all where like maybe it's not sealing properly anymore since I kind of like pulled it off its hinges a little bit?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna launch my little jumping spider body like this is and just try to get the frick out of the back of the van. Sorry to the homies, but like
Do it, do it.
live to fight another day.
As you land on the floor, you don't land with grace. You land with your back to the side, and you feel this numbing pain on your back. And as you feel the necessity of flipping yourself over and jump outside of the little crevice on the band door, you realize your whole body's paralyzed under the paralyzed condition.
So that got me.
hmm And you see that this guy grabs what appears to be a jar made of glass, grabs you. You see him eye to eye, so like, true, it's so flavorful. He stokes you inside of this jar and puts you
No.
inside of the van. And while that is happening, your mind begins to lose
Oh, so
conscience.
I got out, but he followed me out.
You didn't fall out. You
Okay.
fall in the ground floor of the van,
Okay,
but
okay,
you
okay.
are paralyzed.
And
And just
where did he put me?
in a jar made of glass.
Yeah, but
And you're
where did he put the jar?
he's with him. He grabbed it and he got it. You know,
Okay, I'm
he's
just
still,
it's
of
important in
course.
my brain where he puts the jar.
Exactly, exactly. Just to give you like a sense of whatever's going on, he casts cold person on you.
Oh,
And
freak.
so even though you don't need like any verbal components or any like you don't need to be able to move your body to turn into yourself into a spider.
Mhm.
You're a creature with a paralyzed condition and cannot move,
Alrighty.
unfortunately. And everything becomes dark as he grabs you and puts you inside of his cloth of his cloak. Sorry, his cloak, and everything becomes dark. Roll me a Constitution check.
Little hoe.
Saving throw. Uh-huh.
Okay. Con. Get up. 13.
Okay, roll me another one.
Oh gosh. Okay. this one was sort of doing better. I'm gonna use this one. Okay. 17.
You regain consciousness, and we see ourselves in a dark, muddy, dark room. You are in what appears to be um, like a countertop, and what surrounds you, it is like a butchery shop.
Okay.
Deep underground.
How just not from I know I was unconscious. How long was the van ride until where I'm at now?
You are unsure.
No, I missed
From the
important
wild shape,
because
yeah,
I
I
can't
know.
only remember to say.
You're unsure, like exactly on the time, but from your wild shape, you know that at the very least, less than an hour has
Okay, so I'm still a
passed.
jumping spider.
You're still a jumping spider.
Okay.
Um, and you see inside of this like butcher shop, right? Huge cleavers, knives, not fit for a human precisely, but for a creature much bigger. You see in the middle of the room what appears to be um, a little girl, the same girl that you saw before, on a metal table. And you see that there is only like a white cloth on top of her, and you hear commotion happening outside of the room. You hear a huge creature trampling about, and give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh gosh, I need to not roll this dice, bro. 12.
You hear another creature running for his life, that appears to be trying to escape from this ginormous creature that uses his butchery shop as his, workplace. Sorry.
I'm just wondering if it's Tisnip.
it, actually, it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a
The
kobold.
kobold that I saw. I don't know.
It doesn't sound like a kobold. It
Okay.
sounds rodent-like.
ROUS.
Like,
I know that reference.
maybe a rat,
It's
maybe a guinea pig, maybe even, for example, a mice. You're
Oh?
not sure.
Might have not got it if Cry hadn't been gasping. But I think I got it.
And while that is going on, you hear a loud, "Hey, who's there?" coming from outside, and roll me a medicine check.
Medicine. Okay. 17.
You see on the feet of the little girl that there appears to be what red lines made with like red ink that seem to signaling like places to cut.
Ew.
Places to make a really good ribeye out of. You see that all of her clothes and stuff is on like a separate table, and you see all around you, and you see blood everywhere. You see dried blood in many of the tools surrounding you, and you are in the den of a creature beyond evil. You are inside what appears to be a vampire lair.
Okay, so I'm hearing like skittering and running around and like something big tromping around outside. Does it sound like frustrated or is it like sound happy?
Definitely frustrated.
Okay, quickly, I'm still a jumping spider, but you said, does she look dead? The little girl?
It is not in fact dead.
Okay.
But here is where we'll be and our one-on-one D&D
I was already like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this and this. How can I save this chick, but how do I get out? Okay. I'm ready.
But yeah, that's it. How do you feel about it, Ty?
Freaking stoked.
Nice. I love it.
How did I do?
You did great.
Yeah, you did amazing. I loved it.
You did
RP
amazing.
was fantastic. Your thinking was good. I love that.
The only reason I was asking about the acrobatics athletics thing, and this will probably get annoying, but literally my only reference for anything D&D is CR, and Matt will oftentimes let people pick acrobatics or athletics
Mm-hmm.
if they're interchangeable based on if they're like strength or dexterity based. So
Yeah.
if I ever like ask stuff like that, it's because literally the only like knowledge that I have is how like they play. So that's probably close to kind of how my style will be, just because it's my only frame of reference.
No, of course. Listen, I always allow that as long as you are within character, right? So you
Okay.
say like, and that's what I told you. Hey, how will you do it, right? How
Yeah.
will you do like because if you succeed at a role, you can simply say, hey, I just like sprint and just you like went through the actual metal fence, and we can see like you see like
Just grab it and pop, 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 ripping the like hinges apart.
100%, you know. And whenever I go like, hey, acrobatics, athletics, whatever it is, you're always welcome to make your case, and,
Clever.
and I will review it, right? But
Okay.
try to keep it on character, as
Absolutely.
to yes, because that opens like the door for other players to be like, hey, if she did it that way and she got away with it,
Mm,
is there something that my character can do, right? It sparks creativity, right?
yeah.
For me, I will say that 98% of the times I will allow you to do stuff, and unless that I say, hey, you have to do it specifically athletics, like there is no other way for me,
Yes. Yes.
like I did with the band, that's what will
Absolutely.
happen, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
but you did great, see what you did great.
Thank you. I bet you weren't expecting me to cast a tangle on a van.
I didn't. I didn't. But I'm really glad that you did because I see like cries, getting like a sense of whatever the fuck is going on because she failed all of her Constitution saving throw.
I rolled so ass, like 3-2, 3-2. It was
Oh
really
my
bad.
Um,
Gosh.
but you
Yeah,
did
that dude was
amazing.
effing me
Uh-huh.
up. The reason I was asking about where he was putting me, because my brain was instantly like, okay, how long does that hold spell? I even looked it up, like how long does that last for? Because I'm about to like just end wild shape and like just like bust out of this stupid little glass vial and like frick him up.
Oh,
Or get away.
100%, 100%. And the thing
Okay.
is, I believe like at bad moment, um, it would have been like he will lost concentration on it. He's
Yeah.
not even there.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but Cry already knows what this is about. But yeah, our first villain is a vampire, and it's some consolation
Dang.
academy.
Oh
Yep.
goodness.
I don't give a shit. It is a full CR13 vampire, full flame.
Great.
God damn.
That's why, like, when I was realized, I was like, you know what? I wanted to save these people. Homeboy is way above my level. I'm just dipping. I'm like, I've learned not to just try to fight everything.
Mhm,
It's all
mhm.
about being creative.
It's all about being creative. But hey, see, how do you feel the descriptions? Did you got immersed? What did you like? What you didn't like? Let me know.
No, your pacing is really, really good. Like, you do a good job of doing the description, but then, like, pausing to let the player, like, throw in some interaction. It's not, like, too long of narrative before you're asking us to, like, do something. I like that. It's really good.
Perfect. Were you immersed? That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Yep, same.
100%.
Saying you were
And
too
I'm just the audience
Cry was
this time.
just a fly on the wall, and she was sitting there.
Yeah, I was like, yes, go Ty. You can
Go
do it."
die. Go home, girl. But no, it was perfect. See, I think it was great. The only feedback that I will have for you, right? It will be try to I know you have like stuff going on. Your head is going like at 100%. Already thinking ahead. Like what are you going to do, right? But whenever, for example, I'm in this moment of describing stuff, right? Try to wait because you already noticed that on my pace I always make sure you have time to react, right?
Okay.
And even if when I'm done there's stuff that you wanted to do before the end of my description, right, we can always go back and I will retell it that way.
Got it. Okay.
Like I don't mind it, right? So but just try to not interrupt that part of me like describing actual stuff,
Mhm.
right? because other players might have that same thing going on in their heads, right?
Everybody wants to do something. Okay.
Exactly. And so that's the only feedback that I got for you. But aside from that, it was great. I really loved it. I think I understand the character of being like a weirdo that doesn't fit quite, you know, really well in the place. And I just enjoy the idea of Oswald coming to your room, you not being there, you're doing like your own thing, you know.
Perfect.
Not understanding the concept of, oh, somebody is going to bring me to school because I don't know how to get to school.
Yeah. I will say I messed up at the beginning when you were describing the frog because I thought I was the frog.